Hello, hello. Welcome to the accountability call. My name is Inez, and I'm a travel coach. I help moms beat burnout through kid vacations. And because I'm doing the most and life be life, and I need accountability. And so every Monday, I come here with my accountability friends. One of my friends is busy today, so I have one of my good girlfriends, Zenitra Perry, here. We're gonna be talking about, listen, getting to the goals from last week, what we did last week, what we're doing this week, child. So come on in the room, okay? How you doing, Z?
Girl, I am fatigued. I am
Listen,
long-term fatigued. This isn't last week or yesterday or last month. This is years, years ago.
years ago, honey.
This fatigue started. So, but we here. I'm
Yes. Listen, I am tired, okay? Because you know how the thing about business is like you'll spend a significant amount of time and like you're just kind of putting things together, and then all of a sudden like everything comes all at one time and you have these
Mhm.
multiple projects all happening at the same time. That is what happened to me this weekend. Like, and so between my kids transitioning to a new school, my event going from a little bit to a lot, like um it was just like, what is going on? And then like we actually went out this weekend, so making sure like everything was in order for my children to be here with somebody else because my parents weren't here. It was just like I was here all day yesterday with my girls, but I had a million things to do. But when you're with them, you can't really get stuff done, so I had to wait till they went to bed. They had the nerve to go to bed late, so I didn't even start stuff till 10 o'clock, and thus I didn't go to bed till almost 3. Now, y'all know, if y'all have been in an accountability call before, that one of my goals is always go to bed. Okay. I'm working on it. Okay. That's why I'm here. So we'll kick this off with, what did you learn last week?
So I'm reading this book. I think it's called the Black Woman Millionaire, something like
Mm.
that. And I'm still in chapter 1. But it was talking about this grid that talks about survival based self image
Mm.
sabotage. So basically, the ways in which Black women identify ourselves that is ultimately leading to self sabotage. And I identified with most of them, all of them in some form or fashion. So the self image descriptors were independent, nice, go getter, dependable, hard worker. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it links each one of those to a survival strategy. Like independent is linked to doing it yourself.
Listen.
Being nice is linked to never saying no. And while I wouldn't say that I never say no, the truth is I always say yes. Same
I
different.
can't.
Same
I can't.
different.
Uh,
Go getter, and that survival strategy is linked to being never satisfied. So we know the like
yes,
accomplish a goal, you
Lord.
can get another goal.
Mm-hmm.
Dependable.
Ain't even celebrate the first one.
We ain't even celebrate it. No.
Ain't even.
Being dependable is linked to don't make waves or don't cause a disruption or distraction.
Right. That
Uh,
makes me think about like if you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it even if your priorities change.
are you talking about me? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
my bad, my bad.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And then being a hard worker is tied to but being a workaholic or identifying as a
Mhm,
hard worker, the survival strategy
mhm,
of being a workaholic. And I'm like, child, I just been over here surviving
honey,
based off of all of these self-image descriptors that I have and the
and
survival
sabotaging apparently.
strategy. Exactly. And so the results, burnout,
Mhm,
body, family stress.
mhm,
I mean, some of the other ones I don't exactly relate to, like being a doormat. You're not gonna walk all over me.
mhm.
High turnover in terms, I'm guessing like in terms of tasks and projects, and being passed over. I'm generally not passed over because I am all those other things.
Oh,
But to me, the biggest one, excuse me, is burnout. Like all of those lead to burnout.
mhm.
And as I practice creating margins in my life, making space to do nothing, I feel like that's the counter to all of these survival strategies, but it is not easy. It is not
Mm-hmm.
easy. I didn't go to a monthly meeting this weekend that I normally go to, and like that I felt good about. But then I missed an event because I forgot about it. That I did
Mm-hmm.
not like. I had so much
Right.
guilt tied to that because I'm supposed to be dependable. Like, so I was,
Yes.
but because I read this, I was just really conscious of like, yo, sometimes you're in survival mode and it is the self-sabotage that's preventing you from being able to get the things done that you want to do. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just sitting with me this week from recently
Mm-mm.
reading that.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. And I feel like a lot of those things are ingrained in us generation after generation after generation. Like, so listen, I don't know what just came to my mind is like survival is a generational curse.
Yes,
Okay.
that is literally what it's talking about, right? It's talking
Right.
about how, you know, in our ancestral DNA as a
Yes.
Black woman
Yes.
is the need to survive based off of and this is specifically for American Black women,
Mm-hmm.
African American Black women,
Mm-hmm.
and how, you know, slavery has ingrained
Mm-hmm.
all of those things in us, and we have to actively dismantle it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, 100%.
Ooh, baby. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. That's crazy. What did I learn last week? Child, let me tell you. Well, I feel like what I learned last week was don't ever count yourself out. Okay. This is what I learned last week because I was procrastinating, not doing what I was supposed to be doing with regard to an event that I'm hosting here in Philly on March 27th. And really, the root of me not doing what I was supposed to be doing was imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
And then I had the revelation that was imposter syndrome, and I allowed myself to be like, okay, like let's reaffirm and reassure yourself that if you was asked to leave the room, that you obviously supposed to be in the room, right?
Mhm.
Like, and so then I was like, well, now I'm judging myself because I'm behind, not doing what I was supposed to do, and I don't even want to ask people for stuff because I feel like I should have gave them more runway, and so I was reaching out to an event space that is amazing. And I was like, well, I'm gonna reach out to them, even though I was supposed to reach out to them 30 days ago. But I'm fully expecting to say, don't worry about it. No, it ain't gonna work. Like, because I'm sure there's stuff on their books already. Baby. To the point where I didn't put a a was a location on my event. And I was already looking for a smaller space. Like I was like, we just gonna have a little space. We'll have a little something, a little event. Child, they done came back and said, come on in the room. And don't worry about paying us no coins. I said, what? Girl? So I was alarmed last week because I fully had counted myself out. Like I was just like, there's no way this is happening. I'm gonna just send this out. But I already know the answer's no, to the point where when I opened the email, I was just like, oh, it's her email telling me it ain't gonna work. Child, I had to actually read it. I was like, oh, girl, what? Like, so yes, like this is what I learned. Like just stop counting yourself out. And I talked to Z about it because she definitely encouraged me to be able to send the email. She was like, when you ask God for something, make room for him to make it happen. Like, so this is also a part of what I learned last week. And I'm going to be continuing to do that because I was just like blown away, like completely blown away, fully expected it to go the other way. And you know what? It's like you learn these lessons because I feel like I learned a bit of this when we were going after the money for our investment property,
Mhm.
but he always give you a good reminder.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All
That
the
he still will.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He
That
will.
day shall. Mhm.
So yes. So yes. All right. So let's talk about goals from last week, which I'm gonna tell you
Ah!
now, I ain't did nothing.
So that's how I feel, but that's the judgment, right? I feel like I did nothing because I didn't do any of these. None. Like
Well, just nothing on this list. Now we was doing
on
stuff
this
on
list,
this list.
right? On this list.
Yeah.
How's it ever? Clearly, I was doing things. I built a couple
Mm-hmm.
curriculums last week,
Mm-hmm.
built out some workshops, some curriculum frameworks,
You
and
pivoted on your trip.
pivoted on the trip. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I'm reminded, sent some emails. That was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm also reminded of is, we talked about this. I think you and I talked about this. Like the obsession with deliverables.
Mm-hmm,
And I can't
mm-hmm.
remember
Yeah,
exactly.
from being in the corporate world. Like you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
show up
like
with deliverables.
I need to show. Oh, thank you for that. I need to show up with the deliverable done to
Yes,
anything that I go to, including this, right?
yes.
And there isn't always a tangible deliverable that I have to show proof of my work. And on top of that, there is value in the work that I do in pouring into other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think our collaboration session last week on how, and I think this was just Friday, how we're gonna take how you're gonna take, your event, talk about sponsorship,
Mm-hmm.
how we're gonna support each other and like how I'm gonna help you in marketing, some people that I
Mm-hmm.
can bring out, like that counts as work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's not on that's it's never on
Mm-hmm.
my goal list, my task
Yep.
list for the week. And to put a little more respect on the work that on the ways in which I be pouring into other people, because that is work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also collaboration. So no, I didn't do anything on this list. I did not register for the speaker site. I did
Mm-hmm.
not watch my speaker lab videos. I did not do any prospecting. I'm always taking care of them kids because that's
Mm-hmm.
required. And I only worked out 2 days instead of 4. But I did
Mm-hmm.
some other things.
Yeah,
So
you did other things.
I'll run this list back this week with a couple amendments. But yeah, so last week, no, girl, not this list.
Yeah, me either. Like I got two things done. One of the possible. One of the possible.
Come on, Faith.
I didn't finalize the budget and the scope or the timeline for our property, but I'm putting that on there for this week because I think I'm gonna be able to do that today. I recorded one video, so I released one video last week. So y'all go check that out if you didn't see it on YouTube. And I recorded another one. And I did, like I just talked about, book the venue for my women's circle later this month. But no repurposing, no, I wasn't even reading before bed last week. I don't know what I was doing. Like, was I reading? No, I was tired. I don't know what I was doing, y'all. But yeah, like I feel like one of the most amazing thing was I worked out 4 days last week,
Come on.
which is like huge for me. Like, and I also completely changed over. I found this really amazing book. How do I call it? Like someplace I can order my organic food book for my family that helps save us so much money because we shop in Whole Foods, which will take your whole check. So that was huge. Like I transitioned my children to a new daycare. Like, honey, we was doing the things,
Yes.
but we weren't doing these things. No, like we weren't doing these things. So it's all good. It's all good. And I was thinking through like what are the goals for this week? And as I think about it, I'm like, I feel like, both Zenitra and I are running 2 businesses and have 2 kids. Okay. Now, the difference is she is a whole single mom right now. Like she has some family support. But I have a whole husband. Although he worked round the clock. So, what I'm trying to figure out is how can I constrain, right, my focus on whatever the things are in each of the businesses that are going to move the needle the most, because there's so many things I could be doing. And actually you technically got 3, so you might have to take one off.
One is off. The
Okay, I
truck
was like,
is sitting down for me.
I was just like, I just thought about that. You got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, yeah, so 2. So I'm trying to think about like in my real estate business and in my coaching business, like what are what is the one project in my real estate business I really need to focus in on? And if I don't get anything else done, like that's the only thing that I'm going to be working toward. And then the same thing in my coaching business, because sometimes I feel like there's so much to do and there's so many things that I could be doing. But I'm not doing the things that are going to move it forward the most. Right.
Right.
So like when I think about like even for 100-fold consulting, right? Like your also the things that have gotten you results quickly,
Yep.
right? And I
Yep.
think about your prospecting. Like
That's
you
it.
did a little bit. You didn't even do a lot. And it was like here and here and here and here and here. Like, right? Like, so it's like if your energy and your attention is focused on anything, like the prospecting, right? Like,
Absolutely.
when I think about my real estate business, because we're inside of the rehab, I'm like, for me, the biggest thing is timeline and budget. Like if I can always keep timeline and budget together and really be like on top of my GC, like, look, we don't have a lot of time and we don't have a lot of budget. So I want to make sure that we're in alignment, like literally week to week. Like we're going to be going over this every week. What's the budget? What's the timeline? Then I feel like it's going to move us forward, but it's also going to allow me to feel like I'm prepared just in case we go over on something, right? And I can shift if I need to. I don't from my coaching business, I'm trying to think. Because I feel like what has got me results before was being live a lot more often. Right. Like I used to go live every single week. Which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, but I think what the thing about being live is like being engaging with people every week, like actually, so I think I'm going to shift that into finding ways to engage with people every week. So I'm going to be reaching out to some of my friends who I know need my help, right, with regard to creating more free time in their life, and potentially even taking trips. Like I coached one of my friends last week and she's in Cancun right now, like because of that. Like, so like literally just doing those things, whether it's through the events, whether it's through, just text message, whatever it is, like I just need to be touching more people. And I think that's very similar to the prospecting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was going to say, the overall goal, yes, is for you to touch more people, but what can you focus on right now? Right. Like, so if it's marketing that event, then do that as a way to touch more people. It doesn't have to just be going live as your way of touching people. No, like this is your live, and you don't do it as frequently, but it's more impactful, right? You're actually talking. It's a two-way conversation with the people because they're going to be in the room. You can talk to them. They can talk back to you. So it's different from going live every week on social where it's a one-way conversation. But I think focusing on getting this event and not planning the next, but then, okay, so what would you want to do? Would you want to do, because I think you said you want to do this every other month or even monthly, maybe?
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about doing something similar to this with moms every month.
Right. So, as you're doing this, be thinking about, okay, how can I templatize this?
Yeah.
Systemize it.
Yeah.
So I think this event, I like you getting out of the box.
Me too. I am definitely an extrovert. And I'm like, I need to be outside more. Like it's going to fuel me. It's going to energize me. Like this, I'm enjoying it. Like, so yeah, I think you're right. Like doing even focusing on this event in order to be able to replicate it in some way, as we move through these months. And to me, that is lead generation, right?
Yes,
that's lead generation, which is huge. Like build the list, help some people, give some stuff out, like so that I can have more leads in my business and eventually turn into more clients. So yes.
Yep. So I'm gonna say put the live aside. Like
yes, it got
is it.
It got to like so yes, I'm putting promote the event, but I also am gonna put, what did we just say? I'm gonna just put promote event, but I'm also gonna put like create some SOPs, right, as I'm going through this process, so that I can repurpose it. SOPs. Moving forward. So is your thing going to be prospect? What's going to be your thing for your coaching, but then also for your
well, for speaking, it's prospecting.
Okay.
That was already on my list. I had my goal of having 40 leads in the pipeline at any time. I don't think I actually made it to 40. I think I made it to about 20. But my goal in prospecting is to reach out to 25 people a week, so just 5 a day. And that's literally copy paste. Do you want to connect? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of my level one is just reaching out for the initial connect. And then my level two is to follow up with anyone that I've already spoken to, because some folks owe me some contact.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, that's the follow up. So prospecting is the biggest thing, because I need more speaking gigs. I need more opportunities to build workshops or to facilitate. And so all that's going to come through prospecting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then for my retreat, it's going to be, to your same point, marketing, promoting building out the virtual schedule, and then promoting it.
Right. So promotion. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
And that, to your point, is about engaging with the people, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it this morning, and we already had the um, what is it called? The outline for what it would be like in person. Um, my imposter syndrome was like, but if that's the in-person one and somebody comes to the online one, then when they come to the in-person one, they're gonna be like, we already did this before. It's the same. Girl, my head was like,
Goodbye.
it was like I had to like check myself, like, just do what you've already created. By the time it's time for the in-person one, you would have created something else. Like, relax.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And who's to say that the people that came to the virtual one will be the same ones that come to the
Exactly.
it may not be the same people. Their
It may
schedules,
not.
or maybe they came to one portion of it, but not, all of it. So
Mm-hmm.
just having faith in my creative abilities and being able to create more when the time is necessary, and not freaking out over the need to create the potential need to
Mm-hmm.
create more, because who knows if that's
Well,
actually.
and also, and this is hard for us because we definitely want to bring the new, but people need to hear stuff like 7 times before they actually settle in their spirit and they actually really be doing. Like they might have heard it, honey. They ain't hear all of it. They
Yep,
forgot. They never did it. Like,
yep, yep.
so yes, there's that too.
And then allowing, and so remembering the difference between a choice and a decision, right? So I'm choosing certain exercises to make to facilitate. It won't be until I have the experience that I can then say, oh yes, we can keep this, or this is how we
Yep.
can evolve it. Like,
Yep.
girl, you don't
Yep.
even have any experience in doing it. Give yourself a
Mm-hmm.
break. Do what you've created, and then amend, or
Mm-hmm.
evolve it as necessary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, well, and for that reason, I'm going to, because I'm thinking about my to-dos. I'm gonna just reduce my to-dos down to basically those two things.
You
Like,
do.
yeah, I'm a finalize budget in the scope and the timeline, promote the event, create the SOPs. I'm only adding my YouTube video on there because I'm building my channel, which is also lead generation. But other than that, I'm gonna just put my little self-care. Like, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. And let me think. What's our self care this week, honey? I'm gonna put the read before bed back on there. I really was enjoying that week before last. And it helps me go to sleep. I'm reading this book called Oversubscribed, and I literally am on I think I'm on chapter 1 or 2. And I'm really enjoying it. And the great thing about the book is it's about lead generation,
Mhm.
and about like engaging, being really good at engaging your community specifically, so that you're not like looking for clients, but they're already there, right? Like they're already
Mhm.
there. So I use some of the things that I learned in there that I read last week in order to start promoting my event, and I'm already getting like really good feedback on it. So like, I think that's gonna be my book. Now I can't be the one for bed, because if I can read it before bed, then I'm be thinking. So I'm
Right.
reading another book before bed. It's called Remaining You While Raising Them. And I'm like, this is about to be like the foundation of my business, because everything in there she talks about, I already agree with. I learned some other things. Like, I'm just sticky notes, all the things. Like, so I'm sure I'll be sharing some of those at my event as well.
Yeah, my self-care for me means multiple things. I basically wrote get outside, So that includes going for a walk because I've been needing the fresh air. I'm in the house all the time. As
Mhm.
a solopreneur, as a single mom, like I'm just always at the house. So get outside
Mhm.
for walks, but also to connect with people. So I know like I have a lunch this week for Leadership Union, this group I was a part of. Um, I
One
think
thing you be out is outside, Zenitra. Like, I don't even know how she does this. I be like, how do you get outside with all that you're doing and all of these children? Like,
girl.
what you be out
Uh,
there?
I can't because it is necessary. Okay, you know why?
Girl.
Because literally, if I'm at home, I'm not engaging with adults, right?
That,
Like
that's true.
it's
That's
me
true.
and
That's
these
true.
kids.
That's
So
true. That's
I
true.
need the adult stimulation. I need the adult, conversations, interactions, the adult jokes, the adult laughs. Because I'm tired of telling people get your shoes from in front of the door. Like, like I gotta get out of here in order to do those things. So yeah, no, it is required. But more so like during the daytime. So the other part of get outside, I said, and I need to stick to this, that I'm going to work from somewhere else one day a week.
Ooh, I like
It
it.
could be somebody else's house,
I
but
like
I have to get out of this house.
Yes, I like it.
So Tuesdays right now is supposed to be my day to work from somewhere else. Uh,
Mm,
and I
mm,
just got to stick to it. So
mhm,
get outside.
mhm.
Self-care.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I like that. Um, I might have to steal that a little bit, is go outside. Like, I remember, before I was married and children, I used to always be at Panera Bread, a Starbucks or something, working. So to your point, I think that would be a good thing to do. Just gotta build it in, child.
That's it. I
Build
mean,
it in.
Tuesdays is gonna be my day. I know you can't do Wednesday, Thursday,
Oh
right?
no, Wednesday, Thursday is the day I need to do actually because that's my day off. So I don't have to do the girls in the morning or the
Okay.
evening on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, well, actually, we decided I'm gonna do them in the morning, but um, it might be Wednesday. Wednesday is kind of like my self care day.
Mhm.
So I do self care like all morning, like just normal stuff, like shave, like
Take
try
care
to
of you.
put some moisturizer on your face, girl, something like. So that might be because I usually get cute on Wednesday too, so I can go outside
Yes, get cute,
when
go
I
outside.
get real cute. Yes. So okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So usually we do a word of the week. Last week my word was mirror, which I think it was about mirroring the life that I want to have.
Mhm.
Which I think it's so crazy. That's why I love this accountability call, is because there's so much that we do that we're taking for granted. Like if
Yeah.
I was to look back, because this accountability call 26, so that means 26 weeks, right? 26 weeks we've been doing this, right? And so there's been so many things that we've accomplished. And so even as I'm like, oh, I didn't do the goals that I wanted to last week, I feel like I'm just the way that I move with regard to like just getting stuff done that needs to be done, moving the girls, just all the things, like it is very much mirroring the woman that I want to be.
Mhm.
Right. So yes, I feel like I did lean into my mirror last week. Eve's word was becoming and yours was manifest.
Mhm. Yeah, and I definitely feel like I was manifesting. Again, not being so tied to these goals, but truly living every day the way that I want to live, the way that I want to show up, whether it's as a mom or as a friend, as a daughter. Um, oh, I had therapy last week. Oh yeah, which is important. That I
Yes.
was like, oh, that's what kind of threw me last week.
Yes. Oh yeah, I do remember you told me that. Yes, yes, yes.
So manifesting, like I'm working to create to be the woman that I want,
Yeah.
to have the life that I want for me, for my kids. And doing that in every interaction, and with honesty and transparency and authenticity and integrity, right? Like, so I feel like I was manifesting, and I think it's a unlearning of detaching from the goals, right? Like Because initially, because I felt like I didn't do anything last week, I'm like, I ain't manifest nothing. But that's not true, right? I was
Mhm.
actively living every single day, and doing the things to become the woman that I want to be. So detach
Mhm.
from the goals.
Mhm. I think as I was looking over my goals this week, what stood out to me was promote.
Mm,
I feel like that is going to be my word for the week because one, it's tied to one of my main goals, but also it is like it's also not my comfort zone,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'm like having that as my word of the week is a reminder to be like, you know, find somebody else to tell about it and find somebody else to tell about it and find somebody, just like, because I will tell my few friends, like, and be like, y'all go ahead and tell the rest of the people. No, girl, find some more people. Like, and it really, like, even I was talking to my friend Alyssa last week, and she was like, "Oh, make sure you send me an email that I could share with people." I was like, "I ain't even thought about that." Like,
Mm-hmm.
so just like really focusing on how to promote this event, what I'm doing, and getting really clear on like how I want to promote it to people, like being able to clearly define like what people will be able to get from it and take away from it, that type of thing, so that it persuades people to really sign up and they see the value in it. So I think that's gonna be my word for the week is promote. Be.
I like it. I like it. Because I realize how much of a survival mode I'm in, my word of the week is going to be thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking up the definition. So it said surviving means to continue to live or exist, while thriving is means to grow or develop well, to prosper and to flourish. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the angst that I feel is because of survival mode. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
I want to change my perspective on why I'm going about the task that I've set for myself. It is to grow, it is to develop, it is to thrive, right? Like that is to
Mm-hmm.
prosper. And so to not attach it's like you're not gonna die, right? Like, but sometimes we feel like, oh my god, like I didn't do this. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna die. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, you are thriving. You are living in prayers of yesterday. You are living in them today. And you will continue to do that. So continue to grow, continue to prosper. You're prospecting because this is a part of your growth. You're building out and evolving these seminars as a way to, promote prosperity for yourself and for other people. So just trying to change my mindset from surviving to thriving. So
Mm-hmm.
thriving is my word.
I like that. When you said, I don't know why I did, but what stood out to me was when you said develop well,
Mm.
and it made me think about wellness, like,
Mm.
and how like this journey for entrepreneurship, we're always developing,
Mhm.
right? Like everything we as people are developing, and then we're developing things like products, services, all of these things. But in that developing, to me, the developing well means like you have to also be well in
Yeah,
this journey, right? And incorporate wellness as a part of it so that it doesn't feel like hustle and grind and striving and surviving. Like it feels like thriving even in the developing of all the things. Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I like that, and
So
that's why self care always has to be on there, right?
mhm.
And self care is what I felt this week. Is self care is more than one thing. So if I don't it's not working out 4 days a week. It is getting
Mhm.
outside, it's connecting with people, it's getting fresh air, right? Like
Yeah.
it's more than just something that you can easily check off the box. And I read something this morning. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Um,
I'm like, self care is also taking things off your list, which is
hello,
what we did this week too.
check it off.
Take it off your list.
Went
Okay.
from 5 down to 3, really
Yeah.
to 2.
Listen, too.
It said, this is kind of like in my horoscope, but it said this is a powerful time to practice seeing the spiritual lessons in your mundane experiences,
Mm.
and approaching your daily life as your spiritual practice. Like, so the
Oh
things that
wow,
you're
yeah.
doing every day, the mundane thing, that is your
Yeah.
spiritual practice.
Yes.
And so, like, that's where my head is like, okay, even like being intentional and writing down my goals, that is a
Mhm.
spiritual practice.
Yes.
Outside, getting fresh air, that is a spiritual practice. Communing,
Mhm.
fellowshipping with other people, those are all spiritual practices. And it's a part of thriving, but it could seem mundane, but like your spirituality doesn't have to be defined to a task, but like everything
Mhm.
that you're doing every day.
Mhm.
So,
I love it. I love it. Well, y'all, if you need some accountability, drop it in the comments. I'm sure there are other people who need some accountability as well. I have found it to be, the foundation for which I can get most of my things done. Like some people are just that driven. And honey, just that resilient. They don't need additional people to encourage them and to hold them accountable to get things done. I am not some people. Okay. And by I mean we. So
hello, we are not. Make sure you
so,
check out Tip on Top of the Tip. There's
oh
one
yes,
called And by I mean we. If you want a little
yes,
more insight into what that means, you can go to my YouTube channel, Life Unlearned, and look for And by I mean we.
absolutely. Okay, we got a tip coming up this week.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
We got to figure that out, y'all. Stay tuned.
Yes.
In the meantime, y'all enjoy your week. Bye.
See ya.